Episode number 3 of me rating your Diamond Dynasty teams is here, which means we have 5 more teams to go over in this video. Rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. Is somebody going to have 99 overall Randy Johnson? Are we going to get a crazy gold budget squad? We are going to find out in this video. And if you don't know how to enter and be featured in one of these videos, what you have to do is DM me your team on Twitter or Instagram. Make sure to go follow me on my socials to have a chance to be featured. But obviously, I can't get everybody in for one episode, but we'll be doing a ton of episodes throughout the entire year. So if you're excited for this one, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it, and make sure to go follow me over on Twitch, where we are live streaming a ton of MLB The Show 22 content over there. But I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get it.
Minika, watch me on Twitch, ooh, I'm streaming. I'm on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, red button beaming. Let's get that sub count, take over YouTube, ooh, we teaming. My content so high, ooh, yeah, I'm steaming. Ooh, yeah, I'm steaming, red button beaming.
Okay, so 5 more teams are about to be rated in Diamond Dynasty. I did some on Instagram, some on Twitter today. And if you guys are new here, what you have to do is follow me at my Twitter account or my Instagram account. DM me 2 pictures, one of your starting lineup and one of your pitching staff, your rotation, and your bullpen. We rate every team on a scale of 1 to 10. The offense we rate, then we rate the bullpen, and we rate the rotation, then we give the team an overall grade. It's a ton of fun. Not everyone can be featured in every single episode, but I'll be doing a ton of these episodes throughout the entire year. So if you don't get picked for this episode, do not worry, we're going to be doing plenty of them this year. So our first team comes from Instagram user Max Ramirez. We have Vlad Sr. in left, Acuna in center field, Juan Soto in right field, Perez and Sean Murphy on the team. That's interesting. 2 catchers. Perez is playing first base, Devers at third, his Cap at short, and then Jackie at second base. So the first thing I would do is definitely either pick Murphy or Perez to be your starting catcher. I wouldn't use both of them personally. I think you get way better options power-wise, hitting-wise at the plate from a first baseman than you can from Salvador Perez. I think there's a ton better hitters in the game than Perez is, but at the catcher spot, I do really like Perez compared to some of the other hitters at the catcher position, but he doesn't come close to some of the best hitting first basemen in the game that you can get for your first baseman. So pick Sean Murphy or Perez, in my opinion. That's what I would change right away. Then Vlad Sr. in the outfield. I'm not a big fan of this card. Doesn't have great defense. He is a liability in the outfield. He can definitely swing it really well, as Vlad Sr. cards can do every single year. So I would get rid of him because of the lack of defense, and you already have Juan Soto and Ronald Acuna in the outfield. So there's a lot of liability there defensively in the outfield already. Acuna has good speed to make up for the defense, but Vlad Sr. and Soto really bad defensively. So I would get rid of Vlad Sr., especially if you want to keep Acuna and Juan Soto. I'll replace Vlad Sr. with somebody like Byron Buxton or Luis Robert, someone that's really good defensively that you could throw in center field, move Acuna to the corner position in the outfield here, and have Robert or Buxton make up for the lack of defense from Soto and Ronald Acuna Jr. in the outfield. Then the next thing I would do, I know you have the free Jackie Robinson here, but I don't think he's that great as a card. He could be a bench bat against lefties, but Lindor, Corey Seager's really good. Jazz from Face of the Franchise program, Brandon Lau, the gold card, I think is actually better than Jackie Robinson. There are way better second basemen or shortstops that you can use at the second baseman spot over Jackie Robinson, in my opinion. I love Rafael Devers. No complaints there at third base. He isn't the best defensively, but the bat makes up for it, and he has a really good arm. So I am going to give this offense a 7.1 out of 10. The offense was okay. Now we're going to move to the bullpen and the starting pitcher. So you have 90 overall Logan Webb, which I really like. That's a solid starter for your squad. The rest after that, though, not very good. I think that's Jack Flaherty. I think that's Max Fried, Fernando Valenzuela, and AJ Burnett. I do like the Burnett card as a budget gold for your team. Fernando, though, don't really like this gold card. He'll get a better diamond at some point this year, but I'm not a big fan of the gold card. Max Fried, I'm actually not too sure how good that card is. I've personally never used him. And Flaherty, not sure about that card either, but I think there's way better budget gold cards that you can get for your starting pitchers. Lance Lynn's very good. Noah Syndergaard's very good. Charlie Morton's pretty solid. A lot of great options. I have a full video on that you definitely should go check out that I think are better than the cards in your rotation right now, besides Logan Webb and maybe AJ Burnett. So I am going to give the rotation a 5 out of 10. And then the bullpen, we have Rob Dibble, which I really like. We have some bronzes, some silvers, the Mo, Kenley Jansen, Devin Williams, and Class A. Because of Devin Williams and Class A and Dibble, I actually like it a decent amount. You definitely need more lefties, though. I would go ahead and get budget option Aaron Loop as your lefty. He is amazing. Get the 90 overall face of the franchise Chapman when you can. And then when you can, get more of those flashback and legends cards like Gossage, the Brian Wilson 81 overall. That will help your bullpen too. But you need to mix in at least 2 or 3 lefties in your bullpen. So I am going to give the bullpen, because of Dibble, Williams, and Class A 5.6 out of 10. So overall, I am going to give the team about a 5.9 out of 10. The next team is going to come from one of my good friends friends Wally here, and he has a very good team, almost full face of the franchise with 96 overall Gary Carter, top 2 catcher in the game, Kenny Lofton in the outfield, and Juan Soto. So I love Devers. That's solid. Lindor is great at the shortstop position. Excellent defense. Just lack of arm strength can hold him back a little bit, but I've been really good with him at the plate. Switch-handed bat, glitchy swing. We have Tommy Edman, another switch hitter. Very underrated face of the franchise card, but I would definitely rather have Corey Seager or Jazz in this spot. CJ Cron, another good face of the franchise card. I don't think he's as good as Devers if you move him to first. If you had Joey Votto at first, or if you had Josh Bell at first, I think all 3 of those face of the franchise cards are actually better than CJ Cron at first base. We have Buxton in the outfield, who I really like. So the first thing I would do here is probably get rid of Kenny Lofton. I think there's way better face of the franchise options alone that are better than Kenny Lofton. Brian Reynolds, Cedric Mullins, Luis Robert. You have Mike Trout, obviously. Way better outfielder options than Kenny Lofton, in my opinion. Even though he does have a really solid swing, he just can't get the ball over the fence for the majority of the time, and I need a player in my lineup that I know can hit home runs when I need a clutch one. Juan Soto, love his swing. You have Buxton in the outfield to help out with that liability of defense that Juan Soto is going to bring you, but he is such a good hitter that I'm fine with him being in right field. Gary Carter, like I said, top 2 catcher in the game behind Joe Mauer, and the bench looks pretty solid too. I see full diamonds there. You have Mullins on the bench. I would put him over Kenny Lofton, in my opinion. In left field, I really like that Mullins card, but the offense is really solid. I am going to give it an 8.1 out of 10. So the offense was really solid, and the starting pitchers look solid at first glance too. Parallel 5 Jacob deGrom. You gotta be kidding me. That's insane. He's gonna be filthy for you. I'm sure he is. 91 overall parallel 4 Max Scherzer. A lot of Mets on this team. Parallel 4, 88 overall Randy Johnson. I find Randy very annoying to face, so I have a problem facing Randy Johnson. I know some people don't like the Randy card to use for themselves, but I struggle against them, so I'm cool with you using 88 overall Randy Johnson. Stroman, really good pitch mix, very affordable, 90 overall. I'm cool with that. The Strasburg card, I actually don't know how good he is. I actually don't really like Strasburg cards just off prior years, but I'm not sure if this card's any different, but I would probably say there are better options than Strasburg that you can get. Logan Webb comes to mind for sure. The 91 overall Corey Kluber. You do the Astros collection, 92 overall Dallas Keuchel. I think all those guys are better than that Strasburg card, and probably better than Stroman and probably Randy Johnson as well, but the rotation is very solid. I am going to give it, I think, another 8 out of 10. I think it's very solid across the board here. You have your studs in DeGrom. I like the Stroman card. I think Randy Johnson's annoying to face. Scherzer's very good too. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And then the bullpen, we have Class A, Billy Wagner, Mariano Rivera, Rob Dibble, Blake Trinan. I'm sorry, not Blake Trinan, Craig Kimbrell, Raisel Iglesias, and Edwin Diaz. You need more lefties here. You only have Billy Wagner. Go get the 91 Andrew Miller, the 90 Chapman. Go get Aaron Loop. A lot of great lefties. You can get Jose Alvarado from the Tampa Bay Rays collection. That'll probably take you about 18-20,000 stubs to do, but the bullpen for your righties are really good in Dibble, Class A, Mo, Raisel Iglesias, but the lack of lefties, I have to knock it a little bit. I am going to give the bullpen a 7.4 out of 10. So overall, I'm going to give your team a 7.9 out of 10. The next team here comes from Bert, and Bert has a very solid team here. We have Chipper at third base, O'Neal Cruz at shortstop, Trey Turner at second base, Jason Giambi at first, Adley Rutschman behind the plate, love Christian Yelich's swing in left field, Kenny Lofton in center, and Ronald Acuna Jr. in right field. There are no face of the franchise cards on the main team. I see Josh Bell on the bench, but that's it. That's actually crazy. I feel like majority of teams right now are full of face of the franchise cards, but you have a lot of great cards. I love Adley behind the plate, top 3 catcher in the game. Love that. Chipper, I would say, I see you have Jose Ramirez on your bench. I actually think Jose Ramirez is better than this Chipper card. I would rather play him at third base. I think Jose Ramirez probably a top 3, top 4 third baseman in the game. Then we have O'Neal Cruz at shortstop. So I do like the card. He's very versatile. He has great power. I do think, though, face of the franchise cards like Lindor, Corey Seager would actually be better at shortstop than O'Neal Cruz, in my personal opinion. Trey Turner, his live series card is very good. He has great speed, obviously. He swings a really good bat. I feel like the ball always flies off of Trey Turner's bat when he gets good Diamond Dynasty cards, and I do like the 90 overall. I used them a few times before I upgraded to the face of the franchise cards. I do think Corey Seager and Lindor would be great here again. I think they're just very solid for the middle infield and very easy to get. I would actually save my stubs and sell Trey Turner, in my personal opinion, but Trey is definitely a solid card too. And then we have Jason Giambi at first base. Good card, really mashes righties in the Battle Royale program now. I'm not sure though, I haven't used him. I would say he's probably like a top 6 first baseman in the game based off the stats alone. Giambi normally has a pretty solid swing, so I'm cool with that too. Yelich in left field, I love Yelich's swing. One of my favorite swings in the game every single year. Top 3 swing in the game, in my opinion. Kenny Lofton in center field, we talked about him with the last team. Not the biggest fan of his card. I would rather have Robert, Trout, Buxton, the face of the franchise cards, Mullins, Brian Reynolds. I would rather have them over Kenny Lofton, even though he does have a really good swing, really solid speed and defense. He's missing that power aspect that I just need from my team. Ronald Acuna Jr. in right field, really like the live series card, much better in all the aspects, obviously, than the 90 overall Acuna, but the defense becomes very, very solid. The speed is amazing. The power is very good. So I really like the offense. I would just add a couple of those face of the franchise cards. But as it stands with this team in front of me, I am going to give it an 8.3 out of 10. So the offense was very good, and the rotation of the bullpen I think are actually better, if you can believe that. 92 Oral Hershiser, 92 Dallas Keuchel, Ohtani, David Price, and 91 overall Dontrelle Willis. Let me know, Bert, in the comments if you're watching the video. Did you make World Series, or did you buy that card, or did you get the 400 innings to actually get that Dontrelle Willis already at parallel 3? That's insane. Hershiser's a great starting pitcher. Dallas Keuchel, same thing. Love that card. Ohtani, not the biggest fan of the actual pitching, but he can hit amazingly. So if you can actually pitch decent with that card, he'll make a solid addition to your rotation. David Price and Keuchel, very similar pitch selections. Both lefties, both very good cards. And Dontrelle Willis, I personally haven't used them. I actually don't know how good this card is, but I imagine he is very, very solid. The starting rotation, I am going to give it a 9.1 out of 10. And then the bullpen is amazing too. You have a lot of elite arms in here. John Franco, Steve Cishek, Emmanuel Clase, Jose Alvarado, Billy Wagner, Devin Williams, Mariano Rivera. This is excellent. You can't get much better than this right now in the game. The bullpen's amazing. I would say the only card that maybe can go is Joe Nathan here and replace him with like Chapman. You give yourself 4 elite lefties and 4 elite righties. I mean, the bullpen is insane. I think it's actually the best aspect of your team, and the rotation and the offense are very good too. I'm going to give the bullpen a 9.5 out of 10. So overall, I am going to give your team a 9 out of 10. The next team here comes from Nate, and this is the best team we've seen so far, no doubt about it. We have 94 overall MVP Kirk Gibson, 99 overall Roberto Clemente, which means he has every single National League collection award in the game, and we see it there at second base with 97 overall Chase Utley, Acuna in center field, Trey Turner at shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr. at third base, Gary Carter behind the dish, and the 95 overall Rookie of the Year, Albert Pujols at first base. So the outfield is pretty much perfect here. Honestly, the only change I would make is if you can get 95 overall live series Mike Trout, but parallel for Acuna, also insane. Love Chase Utley at second base, best second base in the game. Albert Pujols is the best first baseman in the game with secondary positions. I do think he's better than Frank Thomas. That's my own opinion. I think that card is disgusting. Gary Carter behind the plate, we talked about him, amazing card. With Trey Turner and Fernando Tatis Jr., I would probably try to get a little bit better defense over there on the left side of the field. Either replace Turner or Tatis and replace somebody at third base or shortstop with a little bit better defense. That way, both guys on the left side of your infield aren't complete liabilities defensively. Other than that, though, this team is pretty much perfect. I love it. The offense, I am going to give a 9.7 out of 10. So the offense was amazing, and I really like the rotation. And the bullpen, I don't think they're as good as the offense, but very good too. We have 96 Mike Mussina, very solid card. 93 parallel 4 Jacob deGrom, very good card. 92 Dallas Keuchel, parallel 3, love that card. The 88 Corbin Burns, I think is the best live series pitcher in the game right now. That card is amazing. Then we have 91 overall Max Scherzer. The rotation is excellent. Again, I don't think it's as good as the offense, but it's very solid too. I'm going to give it a 9.4 out of 10. And then the bullpen, I would say, is your weakest point, but it's definitely still solid. We have 85 Jose Alvarado, Lee Smith, Devin Williams, Houston Street, Tom Hankey, Josh Hader, Chapman, and Kenley Jansen. I think Class A would be a really good addition over Lee Smith. I think the 91 Mo would be better than Tom Hankey. I think there's just a couple adjustments to make here, but it's a very good bullpen. I'm going to give it an 8.9 out of 10. So overall, I am going to give your team a 9.5 out of 10. Final team of the episode. Again, if you didn't get picked this episode, don't worry about it. Ton of episodes will be coming out throughout the entire year, but the last one comes from Raptor, and Raptor basically has a full face of the franchise team, but a lot of great cards here. We have Trout, Buxton, Tommy Edman in the outfield, Seager and Jazz as the middle infield, Spencer Torkelson at third base, CJ Cron at first, and then Realmuto behind the plate. Okay, so I like a lot of the aspects of the team. Trout and Buxton, really like that. Seager, I love. Top 3 shortstop in the game, in my opinion. Jazz is very solid at second base. I will say I do think that Lindor would be better than Jazz at shortstop and then move Corey to second base, but that's fine. Tommy Edman in right field, interesting play. He has solid defense. He's a very solid switch-handed bat. The power, though, against righties, I don't really like with that Tommy Edman card. I think Robert is better. I think Mullins is better. Brian Reynolds, I really like too. Couple other options from the face of the franchise program you could probably get that are better than Tommy Edman in right field. I would pick either Torkelson or CJ Cron to be my starting first baseman. I wouldn't have both of them on the team because I don't think Torkelson's defense is that great to play third base. So I'd pick Torkelson or Crone to play first base for me, and then the other would go to the bench and then pick a better defensive third base. And because Seager isn't the best defensively, the JT Realmuto card, not the biggest fan of though. This year I really don't like his card. He swings a dead bat in my opinion. I think there's 10 catchers better. If you watch my catchers rankings list, you can improve on JT Realmuto in my opinion. But the offense is really solid. Face of the franchise cards, always a good bet for your team. All 90 overalls right now. I am going to give the offense an 8 out of 10. Offense was definitely solid. I think the bullpen is the strongest aspect of this team though. We'll get to that in a second at first glance. Starting rotation, Stroman, Casey Mize, Manoah, Logan Webb, Jack Leiter. So again, a lot of the face of the franchise cards. I personally don't really like the Casey Mize card. Manoah is pretty solid. Webb I like. Stroman I like because they have really solid pitch elections. Obviously, there's better starting pitchers than these 90 overall face of the franchise cards. Dallas Keuchel, Corey Kluber, David Price, DeGrom, Scherzer, Corbin Burns. I think those cards are all better than these guys, but they're definitely solid pitchers for your team, and they're very affordable right now. 87 overall Jack Leiter. Card's okay. Nothing crazy. I am going to give the rotation very solid once again. I'm going to give it a 7.8 out of 10, but the bullpen is insanely good. Ottavino, 85 overall. Houston Street, 87. 90 Devin Williams, Chapman, Emmanuel Clase. We have Billy Wagner, Mariano Rivera, and then 91 overall Andrew Miller. You have 3 lefties, which is great, in Chapman, Wagner, and Miller. The righties are very good. Devin Williams, Adam Ottavino. You have Mariano Rivera, the 91 overall in Class A. I really like the bullpen. I think this bullpen's a 9.2 out of 10. So overall, I'm going to give your team an 8.4 out of 10. Okay, everyone, that's going to do it for this episode of me rating your Diamond Dynasty teams. If you enjoyed the video and you found it useful, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll talk to you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.